Who started this company, who co-founded this company, he's from Jalandhar, and I think he is not even 10th pass. And he has a multi-million-dollar company, which he started from Jalandhar, and now he has 7 offices all over the world, 6 or 7. Okay, so degrees do not mean that you can't do anything without them, but it is a safe option. So you should not take too many risks in life unless you're sure. Don't be overconfident. That's what they say. So yeah. Now by what I mean, what kind of an MS should you do? What should be your specialization? Okay. For this, it again depends. Over the next 3 or 4 years, which you'll spend in college, will come to like certain subjects, and you'll come to hate certain subjects. So if you feel that you want to explore certain subjects, you should do an MS in those fields. For example, in computer science, there are specializations. Like there is a general MS in computer science, but it has less value than the specialized MS in computer science. For example, MS in computer vision, MS in cloud programming, okay, MS in robotics, MS in cryptography, MS in HCI, human computer interaction, which deals with interfaces. MS in artificial intelligence. See, these are all specializations. You don't need to worry about them right now. You will be covering some of these subjects during your 4 years. Some of them will be still alien to you. So you have to decide what you want to learn, what you want to do. Only then can you decide what kind of an MS do you want to pursue. Okay, next. Where? Yeah. So, where should you do an MS? Do you know it is possible to do an MS in India also? Many IITs offer MS. Okay? And many IITs offer MTechs also. Right? You can also try that. But I would suggest that you not study in India. The reason is this: Indian education system, while it's not that bad, it's still horribly lacking in many areas, even the good universities. Okay, so if you go to study in some good country, you'll realize the amount of difference in the education system from there and here. You'll see how well managed their institutions are, how well crafted their courses are, and how much focus do they give upon your particular interests. So the number one destination right now for an MS is USA. Okay. Number 2 destination is Europe. Basically, this is a whole continent, I know, but Germany is good, UK is good, Australia. Many people do their MSs in Australia, but number 1 hands down is US. Canada is also very good. There are 3 or 4 very good universities in Canada, but the maximum density of good universities is in USA. What do you mean by maximum density? Like from the top 100, I think top 100 universities worldwide, 70% are from USA. So if they have so many universities, you have a greater chance of getting selected. And don't forget, the whole world applies to these universities.
So is there any kind of scholarship they offer for the contract basis?
Is there any kind of? I'll come to the scholarship part in a bit, and how much does it cost, everything. First, I'm just the best place to do an MS in higher education is in US. Why? Because they've got the best universities, best faculty, and they have got the best industry. Okay. Number 2 is Europe. Number 3 you can count like Australia and Singapore. They are also very good, and they're not as. The problem with USA is like it is the most costliest. It's the costliest country to get an education in. An MS in USA is usually not cheap. Okay, but still that's clear. Next, how? Now, who is this actor?
Shaktiman.
So you. Come on, dude.
Shaktiman basically.
Come on. नहीं बच्चों. Yeah. So this is the basically I hope to spend the most time on this question. How? There are 4 or 5 criteria on which an MS application depends. Let's go through them one by one quickly. Number 1, most good universities need a minimum percentage. Okay, last time I checked, most of them wanted 75% or like a GPA of 7 plus out of your college. If you don't have that GPA, it will be hard but not impossible to get into those colleges. Again, while choosing a candidate for MS, all the universities, they always go for a holistic approach. Holistic, who understands that word? What does holistic mean? What does holistic mean? Overall, yes. The overall big picture approach. So, if you don't have 75% but you have like 70% or even 68%, you can still get into a good university. How? Because other factors might be, counterbalancing your low percentage, low GPA, which are your GRE score. You need to give the GRE for doing an MS. Okay, and even in India, those institutes which take MS, they need take MS students, they need you to give the GRE. Okay, if you want to, yeah. What is GRE? That is your question? GRE stands for Graduate Record Examination. It is an exam. It is a simple exam. It has mathematics and English. Simple but complicated. I'll explain. It involves English and maths. That's all. And you need to give the GRE. GRE is just a big range filter for them. They're like filtering the trash. Yeah, it's like an aptitude test. They're filtering the trash from the somewhat okay people. And even from the somewhat okay people, they select the very best ones. Okay? So, those people who will come to the GRE in a bit. Second thing you need is TOEFL, another exam. Yay. You need to give TOEFL also, and TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language. Okay? So you need to give. Sorry? Good question, very good question. Basically, sorry, my throw is horrible. So